You up to speed for what this is. It's going to be a real, raw, unedited version of what it's like growing and scaling a marketing agency to $10 million a year and to go ahead and exit. So essentially, I have ran a business or agency since I was like 19, 23 now, about to turn 24 in a couple months. Absolutely crazy to say that. But essentially, right now, what I'm doing is I've ran a consulting / coaching program for individual like car sales reps for a very long time. Ran it for 2 years, and it's been great. I made my first $1 million doing that, and I don't regret it any single bit or piece at all. And essentially, it was getting to the point where I couldn't grow and scale it anymore. So I got it to a point where in about a year, I was stuck at $50,000, $60,000 a month for a very long time, unfortunately. And it's just, I had to reevaluate what I was doing. And essentially, I realized that, talking to a few other people in the online space, like people, I'm untalented or I'm not capable of like growing or scaling, but it's just the analogy I like to give myself is like, what lemon would I like to squeeze? Because, Warren Buffett talks a lot about, it's not about how hard you row, it's about what boat you're in, right? So I've learned over this time period, and the reason why I'm starting up this new series is because I tried to grow that and scale that company as hard as I could, right? But I learned that the model and the customer avatar that I'm serving is just, it wasn't worth it, because I'm trying to sell a $5,000 product to people that, number one, are new to the business or new to entrepreneurship. They don't know what it's like to run a business. And it was great to like get the ball rolling, but to grow and scale and actually build something amazing, I wasn't able to squeeze much more juice out of that lemon, if that makes sense. So because of that, like trying to go more mass market and like touch more people that are selling cars, I realized that my time, effort, and skill set is just better off serving the person who runs the store, right? Because let's say, for example, as a sales professional who works at a dealership, you're only making like a fraction of what the dealership actually makes, right? Because when you sell a car, the dealership makes like $2-3 grand a copy, and the sales reps may be getting like a portion of that, maybe 10%, maybe some cases 25-30%. And it's not scalable. Like, like the average client that I ended up working with sold an extra 2 to 5 cars a month, right? So for that person, it was maybe an extra 2, maybe 3K a month that I helped added to their monthly income, which is significant to them, right? Or 50%. I started to think like, bro, what if I just took what I'm doing right now and I was just able to do that for the whole sales team, right? Because like, I've built up my skill set at this point. I'm good at what I do. And if I was able to apply that to a car dealership, bro, like if, let's say a car dealership had 10 fucking people that sold at their store, and all of them even added 2 sales a month, that's an extra 20 sales that I added to that person without them needing to spend more money on ads. And, if that was 2 grand in profit per deal, that's an extra 40 grand I just added to that dealership's pocket. So I'm just looking at levels of leverage. And when I talk to these high-level business owners, I just recently, I'm fully launching my whole offer starting tonight. It's October 1st, 2024. And I plan on doing these weekly and basically giving you guys the insights, the knowledge, and so you guys can basically see me eat shit along the way. So it's going to be a ton of fun. And hopefully you guys enjoy this type of content, because I don't really care. I just know that it's important to create and build a brand. And I've never seen anyone actually have the opportunity to show what it was like building the company from scratch, right? I think there's a lot of people out there like Alex Hormozy, Dan Martell, or like Grant Cardone, who's able to build and grow their company. But what would it be like if you actually saw them on the other side and got to see what they were thinking through from the beginning? So it's better late than never, right? Even though I could have started earlier, I'm still starting at a relatively good time. And I want to do this on a weekly basis, just so I don't dilute the content with just updates on a daily, regular basis. I want to do it once a week, just so I always have fresh new content to talk about. And so I've signed a few clients. We have 3 clients, and we're at $7,000 in recurring revenue, and that's just through the grapevine of me just kind of doing it, and I'm not really promoting it. But back to the idea of me trying to grow and scale that company, dude, like I realized that the model, you have to think about it like this. And an info product has a very short life cycle. Like there's everyone in the internet money space that you see online that's like talking about these huge revenue metrics, or just, it's jaded, because as I talk to OGs in the business space, like guys that are actually worth like tens of millions of dollars, multiple 8 figures, like they look at this stuff as child's play, right? Because the real game is to actually go ahead and build wealth, right? So the info product is a good cash generating business, and it's good to get your foot started or in through the door, but it's not a long-term sustainable play because there's no enterprise value that's get built up from it, and every single month you have to start back from zero. So let's say I was at $50,000 a month, right? It was cool for 1 month, but the next month I'm at zero again. And as I was trying to grow and scale that business, the unit economics didn't really make sense because I charged $5,000, right? And I was running the numbers from last year. The typical person that spends some money with me only ends up paying around like $3,300, and it cost me about $1,000 to acquire. And then from there, like, you have your payroll and all this other shit, living expenses, and at the end of the day, I wasn't left with very much money at all. And so switching the customer avatar to people that have deep pockets, and if you know anything about the automotive space, bro, talk about old money, man. If you ever get the chance to meet some of these guys, they have some of the deepest pockets that you ever know. It's actually old money. It's an old money industry. Like, these guys were passed down, wealth from generations down, and, they inherited their wealth in some cases, and it's a really OG business model, and it's really slow to adapt. So I wanted to go with this model because of the fact that I was putting it in my head that I want to be able to go ahead and build and exit a company. So that's what this whole series is going to be about, is me building the raw side of me building a company to 8 figures, and at the end of it getting to sell it. Because my timeline and my journey now, I want to play a bigger game, because I just look at what people do, and I've stopped listening to so much to what people say, and I've learned that that's helped me out a lot. And all these big dogs in the space, like, they built and sold a company. Like, everyone that was in info, like Alex Hormozi, Alex Becker, Sam Ovens, like the OGs in the space, Ty, like, they made a fat bag with info because nobody lasts that long around. They made a fat bag in info and then got into either SaaS or something that had a lot more enterprise value. Because what you'll realize, an old man's game in business is building to sell and getting into equity and building a business portfolio. So with me now realizing that, well, I want to play that game. So what my goal is to build this marketing agency and have such a unique marketing angle, because I'm young and it's an old school business. And if I can crack the code on this, I can absolutely dominate. So my plan is to come on in, fucking tear it up, cause a ruckus, and sell my ass off like crazy, build a badass team, and get this baby up into multiple 7 figures by next year. I want to get to $5 million in revenue by next year, the next 12 months. I think I could do it sooner, to be honest, but I would have to be about $450,000 a month, and I plan on charging like $3,000 a head. So I would have to have 140 active clients paying me every single month, which shouldn't be hard. That's the crazy thing. Like, on a monthly basis, I was turning about 15 to, in some cases, 30 units a month on my high ticket info product, which isn't bad. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was a good amount, but like, dude, like, I'm not making enough money per deal. Even if I don't have a crazy long LTV with my product and my service, like, I would still make as much money as I would make on the front end, just charging $3,000 up front. And these guys could fucking shit that out and like not even think about it, not even blink. So it's a different game. It's a different fucking game, dude. Like, at a higher level. So I'm so fucking excited. I actually feel like for the longest time, like, full transparency, I feel like I was stepping over fucking dollars for pennies, bro. Like, talking to the wrong people. And that's not to say, for people in the industry, like, I don't like serving them, but it's just when you get to a certain level and you know that you could provide more value, it's like, well, getting into a better opportunity is always going to be a very big catapult, because I could be the smartest guy in the world, but if I'm working, I could be $100 million guy, but if I'm working on $1 million a year opportunity, I'm only ever going to make $1 million a year, right? So with that being said, now it's like, I had all the tools. Like, the last 2 years, like, I've been eating shit, dude. Like fucking learning how to market, learning how to sell, learning how to build a team, learning how to track numbers, learning how to hire, manage, train, fucking build systems, like all the real shit that you have to learn when it comes to building a business. And now that I've gotten to the point where you kind of get all the business fundamentals, it's like now the game is building systems and having unique insights that can change a fucking industry. So what I've learned is I have such a golden goose egg opportunity right now to just fucking crack down in the automotive space, because nobody's doing what I'm doing right now. And I just need to capitalize on it, and I can do what I was doing for my B2C offer, selling to salesmen, for what I'm doing right now for dealerships. There's roughly 16 to 17,000 rooftops in the United States. And even if I got 1% of that, right? 1% of that's 160. That's a fucking $5 million a year business right there. If I can double that, get to 2-3%, and there's a bunch of independent car dealerships out there. I believe there's 40,000 of that. That's 1% of that. That'd be 400 active clients. So I could easily run this bitch up to 1,000 active clients a month and really grow and scale this stuff. And fuck, dude, I might even take it past 10 mil a year. I think 10 mil a year is just like a stepping stone, but I think I could go for a fucking crazy exit on something like this, because now with building enterprise value, people are going to look at this company and be like, okay, well, there's a lot of recurring revenue. They have a long LTV. They have a airtight fulfillment system, airtight acquisition system. It's going to be like buying a fucking Lamborghini, delivered right to your doorstep, because it's going to be a cash cow of a business. I probably would sell a majority stake of the company. I wouldn't sell maybe all of it, just because I still believe in the automotive space and I believe in what I'm doing. Has a long-term impact. There's just a ton of proof of concept. Like, I was talking to one of my clients that I recently signed at a B2B as a dealership owner, and the dude's fucking worth 60 M's, bro. 60 fucking M's at 44 years old. This is why I like talking to people that are in the old money space, you know what I mean? That actually have been through cycles and are actually around the right people that are playing the right games. It's confirmation with when you have your ideal customer saying to you, dude, TJ, you don't know how fucking big of an opportunity you have on your hands right now. And right now is just like time to go ballistic and just double down on the opportunity that we have. I've been blessed. God, shout out to God, bro. Like, I feel absolutely blessed at this phase in life, and I have so much clarity on the vision, because right now, as I try and grow and scale this company to build and exit it, my vision's big enough to actually attract very high level talent, number one. But number two, now it's like, well, dude, if I actually sell at the point that I'm trying to get to, I'm going to take all that money and I'm going to invest it into real estate. I'm going to build a huge fucking real estate portfolio in B2C type of properties. Shout out Thatch and Win. There you go. Another guy that actually been in the game and didn't start off an info business like myself. From him, that he built a lot of his wealth is coming through having his money in the right investments. So like Grant Cardone, he ran the same play. My client was telling me, he was like, dude, like Grant Cardone ran the same play. He got into a bunch of different rooftops and invested all that money into real estate, parlayed it, fucking started doing big fucking deals, and he got into these huge apartment buildings. And I live out in Las Vegas, right? So bro, if you come out to Las Vegas ever, you'll see how much this is going to be the next fucking Silicon Valley. And in the short year alone, I've seen so much development. There's so many projects that are going on in Las Vegas that within the next 2-3 decades, mark my fucking words, this place is going to be one of the biggest cities in the US, man. It's still super early, so my plan is over the next 5 to 10 years is to just make a fuck ton of money going and building this agency, taking and dumping all that money into real estate. I'm just going to take it and get into private equity, right? So the goal is to get into private equity when I'm in my 30s. I want to go for a fat exit, and then from there actually start buying up businesses. Because if you look at the Alex Hormozis and you look at the Grant Cardones and you look at some of the people at the highest levels that are billionaires, they have a portfolio of a fuck ton of companies. And once I have built and sold a service-based business like an agency, I have the fucking blueprint in one of the hardest niches. The reason why you don't fucking see anybody else in my fucking niche and it's not saturated, because it's hard as fuck. And so essentially what we're going to do is exit, build a private equity portfolio, and hopefully get majority or minority stake, and just build up $100 million portfolio of a bunch of service-based businesses. Money won't necessarily be a problem, but I see the game, right? So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to share all the principles and just document this along the way so that you guys can see it. But I like this style of content. You know what I mean? Love it or hate it. Or if you know what? If you like this, please do me a favor. If you're still watching to this point, please do me a favor. Just leave a comment. Just tell me that you actually like this style of content. That'll motivate me to want to continue doing this over the long horizon. But, I'm probably going to still be putting out value content, all this other shit that has to go out to build a business. But I like this. I feel like I'm talking to you as my friend, and you're going to be seeing me along the journey. And hopefully I give you the insights that, is necessary for you to grow and build and sell your business in the future. So yeah, anyways, thank you for checking in on this week. I'll check in with you guys next week to kind of tell you guys how my launch goes. I'm going to record some B-rolls and shit like that so that you guys can see as I launch the stuff and see how fast this shit grows. I am so fucking hyped, dude. I spent a whole month fucking writing this VSL, getting it edited, and everything along the lines of that. Oh, there's the light. Now I have fucking lighting. I'm gonna fucking run this shit up, dude. I'm so excited for it. I have all the pieces in play, and yeah, it's just I feel it coming, bro. Like God's been pulling out my heart. He's gonna bless me soon. God be all the glory. Like, shout out to God. I know that he's watching me right now, and he knows how much impact that I want to have and how much love and knowledge I want to spread to his people. So it's at the end of the day, I want to make a lot of other fucking people rich along the way and just show you guys how I did it. So anyways, thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys in another video. Peace.